John, I know you're never going to take a black jersey off a quarterback and let him get hit during practice, but how do you kind of get him prepared? Art considered he's never had a collegiate experience. How do you get him prepared to actually face pressure and maybe get hit?
Well, we do a lot of ball security stuff every day in terms of protecting the ball in the pocket as best we can. We try to measure, even in practice, when you'd be taking a hit, when you should have got it out. When the defensive guy in practice just laid off, and it would have been a sack. Which obviously we run as many plays as we have from camp. There have been, a number of them that you'd say, hey, ball has to come out, and not just anywhere. It's got to come out safely or you got to get down. But I mean, the only thing we can do is what we've done every day is just emphasize our ball security and how we handle it in the pocket, both when he runs the plays and we drill it every day. And I think he has a good feel for that. At least we got a chance to evaluate him 15 games worth in the spring, as well as in the fall. Haven't taken a hit yet. Hopefully doesn't take too many on Saturday either. I mean, that's on a lot of guys as much as it is on him. But there's no real way to simulate it. Just kind of continue to talk about it. I think he has a good feel for it. I don't really see him being a guy. There are some guys that are all over the place with the ball in the pocket. He, at least until this point, hasn't shown to be one of those guys.
John, you said pretty early on, going all the way back to the spring, that you had an inkling that it would eventually land on Art. Do you remember the moment or the instance where you thought that he really might be it?
Well, I think I said I knew where it was going. I don't know if I said it was him. I think you guys assumed it, but I did think, he's an unbelievably talented player, but we have to remember he's still very young. I mean, he was 17 when he got here. He got kind of thrown right into the fire, but these type of guys that are kind of the bred quarterbacks from day one. I know he started a little bit later. His kind of story is interesting, but when you get into that mode and you're into training, obviously you went to a school, a private school, just to play quarterback. He's pretty serious about the job, and he's got the physical attributes to do it. He should become the guy, unless it was too much for him, unless he wasn't as good as we thought. That is what should have happened in some ways. So. But I don't think we predetermined it. Obviously it went right down to the wire legitimately. I mean, you guys have been in camp as much as us. It was a good competition. It wasn't, these guys were bad, he was real good. He was, and there's no way to call it, compare it, other than you look at the guy and say, that's what it's supposed to look like. Clearly it's not going to be all smooth sailing at any point. But he's got a tremendous amount of talent to do it. He's got the right mentality to do it. And now, there'll be a lot of things that happen for the first time, like all of it, from the first snap on. And it's going to be how he responds to those things, rely on his training, and trust that he is that good player and that he can function in a college environment.
So is it different now modifying game plan for a true freshman quarterback, or are you just going to kind of treat it like any other situation?
No, I think you have to be smart. I mean, I think we have a good feel. Again, him being here in the spring was tremendously beneficial for all of us, of what he can handle. And, there's a lot of things you want to get carried away with as a staff or coordinator or whatever. Hey, if we can do this, we can do that, we can move this. You have to remember, it has to be something that he's comfortable with. And the good thing is he's been very vocal in saying that. But, I just go back to some experience here with Mike Teal when he got going. Originally we were pretty plain. Now it helped Ray Rice, and you could run the ball 50 times, and so you could do that. But I mean, in the end, the guy was going to have to make throws and plays to win the game, and he was very vocal, much like Art is, in terms of, hey, I can do more, I can check this, I can get out of it, And it was kind of a little bit on both of our timetables where you kind of put it out there and see how comfortable he is with it. And the good thing is, I think we found out pretty quickly with Art what he likes and what he doesn't like, what he can handle and what he doesn't. And I don't think any game will rest on, hey, we got to have this play, or we got to be able to check these things. At some point we have to be able to line up and play. Either way, we got to block them and make some plays. So it is a concern, and I think it's a concern regardless of who you have. You got to limit it, and because if it's not the quarterback, maybe it's the receiver group or the line or whoever. So we're going to do the best we can to give him what he's comfortable with, and if we grow from there, great. If we shrink from there, then so be it.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about Art's
maturity beyond his years and all that. I'm just curious from your perspective as a passer, what sets him apart? What does he do well?
Well, you know, he's got a really, just fundamentally, really good base, and he works his feet very well in the pocket. You know, that's something you can try to teach people, you know, but that's either developed over years or you have a good feel for. He's got, you know, accuracy down the field on throws that are not necessarily the highest percentage throws. You know, is he gonna hit them all? No, but I mean, he hits enough of them, and he definitely will give some people things to think about in terms of, you know, we want to get everybody up there. The guy can strike the ball down the field. So those are kind of the main, you know, main things that you see. The velocity of the ball coming out, the speed of the release. You know, I mean, again, maybe I put too much on him, but that's what he's supposed to look like. You know, at any level, that's what the guy is supposed to look like. Now, you know, doing it in the game is the hard part, as anybody will tell you, especially the guys that played on Sunday. But in terms of the physical attributes of being pocket passer and throwing the ball and big arm and movement and all that, he's got those qualities.
Is the down the field stuff what separated him in this competition?
You know, I thought Gio did a really good job. Yeah, John. I mean, he hit a number of shots downfield. He got better at it. I think he got a better feel for the guys running it. I think we were all kind of in a, you know, it was new for everybody again, and who were the guys and where do you throw it to trust guy? You know, those type of things were factors really with everybody. So I don't think anybody did a bad job with that, but I think in the end, he's a big guy that can see the field well, and it certainly didn't hurt.
Gio hasn't been asked to throw the ball downfield a lot since he's been here. Just what is your faith in him, you know, doing what you're asking the quarterbacks to do if he is pressed into duty here again?
He impressed me. I mean, right out the gate in the spring, I can remember specifically a couple of deep shots where I was looking at the underneath guy, and he put it up, and it's a guy one-on-one, and Shamid or whoever it was went up and got the ball a number of times, and I thought, you know, he's hit a number of these deep shots, Gio. I think he's been confident in it. He really has a good feel for the pocket, you know, which probably better than, you know, he's been in that pocket. He's been surrounded by guys more. He can kind of know where to move to space and still keep the play alive, and uses momentum to get the ball down the field. I think he's hit, you know, Gio's hit a number of these deep shots, spring and summer camp. So I don't think anything would change if he were to go in.
I know last year they struggled defensively, but they were very good against the run. How much of a concern is that when you know you have to establish that with a young quarterback? And I think they bring back 6 or 7 starters in their front, 7.
Yeah, they're really, I mean, they bring 8 starters altogether back, and they're loaded up front, especially inside. They got some big, heavy guys that are good football players that can get their hands on people and cause problems. You know, we're at a kind of double disadvantage in terms of the new coordinator coming in from Oklahoma, where he wasn't the coordinator. So is he going to run that? Is he going to take over what was there? Is he going to put his own little spin on things? So we're kind of piecing all that together in terms of the schematics, but they have some talented guys. I mean, it's a you know, Division I team in Texas. I mean, they're not going to roll out. They're tough. They play hard. They're football guys, and you know, they were in one of those deals last year. I mean, they had no interceptions, but there's a bunch that were close. They had no, you know, wins, but they had some games where they had a chance. You know, I know they had 2 wins, but I'm saying they had a chance for a handful of other ones that just kind of went the other way. So it's not like, you know, we're expecting to have to battle our rear ends off, and the little bit of a disadvantage for us will be not 100% sure exactly what their schematics will be, and but you know, in the end, we're going to have to run the ball. I mean, we're playing a young quarterback. We're not looking to go out there and throw 50 times. You know, we have some experienced runners and other guys we're counting on, and they were very good against the run. They're going to present a challenge to us, but we need to be able to run the ball against them.
2-part. Are you a booth guy or are you an on-a-field guy? 1, and then 2. You know, when you haven't, I'm assuming you haven't called any plays on game day since the last time you were here. Is there an adjustment period for you? You know, what's that game day like going to be for you?
Well, I'm going to be down. I've been down for, you know, a number of years now, and I kind of like that better for a lot of reasons. One, I'm used to it, so you can kind of see everything pretty well from down there. I'm just kind of used to where to stand and what to look for. It's a little bit different when you're trying to get the next call ready. But I always felt like it's better to be down there with the players, kind of look them in the eye or talk about or get the demeanor of what's going on, because I thought, early on when I was upstairs and you kind of come down and it's pouring rain or it's 30 below or whatever, and you're getting on guys and they look at you like, you know, were you here? Are you at the game? I mean, you know, so I thought that was kind of odd, you know, and I went up, it's odd, like in 13, the first few games of the year, I was upstairs and we played the Cardinals, and after the game, Larry Fitzgerald came over to the locker room. He was like, "Where were you?" I'm upstairs. Why? I'm like, well, because that's what I had. But he's like, "You can't be upstairs." He actually, I think, went to Greg, because the next week I was down. So it wasn't my suggestion. So I think Larry was like, "You can't be upstairs. You got to be down and get everybody." So I enjoy it much more. I think it's just get a better feel for whatever you may miss. Although we have some guys upstairs I obviously trust, but whatever you may miss, I think you make up for in just the being at the game. And then luckily we've had a number. You know, play calling's a weird thing. It depends on where you are. There's been a lot, obviously, like I was with a guy like Ken Wisdom for 8 years, so obviously there's a lot of collaboration when you go into kind of playing, and you almost could finish each other's sentences at some point when you're sitting there calling, you know, he's calling plays, but you're kind of like, okay, here's what's next, here's what's next. So, but it's different when you have to be the guy actually pulling the trigger on, hey, we can do this or we can do that, you know. Luckily, we've had a number of instances Chris has kind of set up through the spring, through the camp, through the summer, where we just go out and call plays, just says, hey, it's 3rd and 10, hey, it's 2nd and 10, you know, throw situations at you where you have to, you know, be ready to call them. Now, obviously, the stakes are a little bit different when you're in practice, but for us, we kind of take it the same way anyway. So I think I'm ready to go in terms of that. I'm looking forward to it.
Any other questions?
So I guess you had a visitor last week to play quarterback a long, long time ago. What was that like to have him talk to the team?
Well, I mean, I grew up going to those games. You know, when you talk about Phil Sims, I grew up going to those Giants games. It's a long story. The guys that designed the Meadowlands were from Scranton, so my dad was able to get season tickets through one of the guys, and so to me, he's one of the all-time. And I got to know him when I was last here when we tried to recruit Matt, and so we kind of had a good relationship through the years. And to me, he's, you know, bigger than life. The Super Bowls and what he was able to endure, you know, playing that position a number of years here, play for Bill, and you know all the things he kind of went through, and some of the things he shared with the team. You know, some guys come in and it's, you know, over the top, you know, motivation, or it's a little bit down. There were real things about, you know, what players are feeling now, the guys who aren't supposed to start, what you feel like when you're a team that's an underdog at times, and what, you know, got them through some of the harder times. He talked about the year with Dan Reeves where they went 11-5 and nobody thought they were going to win any games, and they had that overtime game with the Cowboys, and how, you know, Parcells told him when he was second team, hey, make me play you. You want to play? Make me play you. You know, to all the guys who just found out they were so not starting, and then he went out and did it. So it wasn't just, you know, like a hypotheticals. It was like, this guy did it, you know. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. I think it was a great message for everybody. You know, they're all younger guys, and some of them weren't even born back when he was, I mean, he said his last game was '93. None of them were even born, but they certainly know who he is. And, you know, I think anytime you have a guy, especially if he can, the fact that Phil loves football and helping kids, he's done it for years here, that comes through when he talks to the team, and I think it was very genuine. I thought our guys got a lot out of it.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Families,